to Relished. I'm Alli. I'm a nutritionist and a yoga teacher, and I'm here to talk to you about nutrition every week. This week is all about black pepper. We're going to talk about the history, we're going to talk about the different types, the health benefits, and a recipe for coconut vegetable pilaf with black peppercorns. Super excited about that. That's going to be dinner tonight. So I'm very excited about the show. Please put any questions or comments down in the comment section, down in below the video. I love questions. I love comments. I love to have conversations during the show. So join in anytime during the show. All right. So we've got lots to cover today, and this recipe is going to look it looks really good. I think it's going to taste really good. I'll be posting the outcome because it does have to bake for about 25 minutes. So I will be posting the outcome on my Instagram. You can follow me. I put the link down in the comment section. It's at Alli Shercliffe. Also, if you want a link to the recipe, I put that in there too. You can find it on relish.com. It is a Serious Eats recipe called, the official name is called Eat for $8 Coconut Vegetable Rice Pilaf with Peppercorns. So let's talk peppercorns. Okay, lots of history on peppercorns. Black peppercorns are indigenous to southwest India in a province called Kerala, I think is how you pronounce it. And black peppercorns are the dried, unripe fruits, also known as a drupe, D-R-U-P-E, which is a fruit with a single seed in it, and a single seed in the middle. And the plant is called Piper nigrum, and it's grown in tropical regions such as India, where it comes from. So, and this is kind of cool. We're going to go into detail about this a little bit later, but there are many different colors of peppercorns. Maybe you've seen them in the grocery store. Today, we're just talking mostly about the black peppercorn. Sorry, there's a little bit of a reflection. The black peppercorn. But there are green, there are white, there are red, there are pink, and there are black. Yes, there are 5 that we're going to discuss. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. So it all depends on how it's harvested, when it's harvested, and if anything has been added to it to change its color. Hello, welcome to the show, Katara. Okay, so back to peppercorn. So basically, we're going to go into this in a little bit more detail too, but black peppercorn is obviously the most popular, the one we see the most. It's on a lot of dinner tables. It's on a lot of restaurant tables. So it comes from the Sanskrit word, which is pipali, which was once known as black gold. So black pepper or black peppercorns were such a popular item and so hard to find or so hard to get. And we'll go into that in a little bit back in history, but they were so much in demand that they were called gold, and they were also used as money at one point in history. So they were very much sought after. And today, about 39% of black pepper is produced in Vietnam. And then Indonesia produces about 15%, and then Brazil and India produce now about 10%. So kind of spread out there in the world, but typically warm tropical places. And it has one of the longest histories as a much sought after spice, and because it adds a really good flavor. It can be a preservative, and it can add a little heat to your food, which is kind of nice sometimes. You know, I like to add a little pepper. We all know the pepper grinder at restaurants when they ask if you want it on your salad or different foods. In medieval times, we have a lot of history today. This is kind of fun. In medieval times, the middle part of the spice route, or the Silk Road, the trading route that spanned a lot of countries, was controlled by Muslim traders. And in Venice and Genoa in Italy, they held a monopoly over black peppercorns and getting sold into the rest of Europe, and that they could put any price on them because they were so much sought after. It was very expensive to ship because I learned this today. The Silk Road, the trading route was 4,000 miles, so that's a very, very long time, or a very, very long road, a long path. But pepper quickly spread throughout the world in a lot of different cuisines, and that's why it's included in a lot of different spice blends. Like in India, it's in garam masala, and there's a French spice blend that has it. There was one more that, where am I? Where am I? Let's see. Anyway, and it's in a lot of Cajun spices as well. So, yeah, it's a component that's in many spice blends, a lot of different cuisines. And let's see. Oh, there's a Moroccan spice too that also has it. The Ras El Han, I don't know if it's Ras El Hanout, I think is how you say it. And it used to be, I mean, it does have a lot of health benefits, which we'll talk about today, but it did have a lot of different medical practices believed that it cured a lot of ailments, such as helping constipation, helping insomnia, oral abscesses of the tooth, sunburn, and toothaches, among many other things. So I think that's pretty interesting. And it was used in the mummification process, which I thought was interesting. They found it in some excavations. They found it in the mummy of Ramses II. So apparently they used to put a lot of different spices and herbs inside the mummification process. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I did not know that. And Rome it was so popular in Rome that they used it as a commodity, or they used it as currency, and they were one of the first places in Europe to use peppercorns in culinary purposes. So, pretty interesting. So that's kind of the history of black peppercorns. Let's talk about the 5 different kinds. So, black peppercorns are the most popular. That's kind of what we know the most, and we see them in the grinders. Here, I have my black pepper grinder from Trader Joe's. You know, I talk about that a lot because I shop there multiple times a week. This is a shot glass that my parents gave me. It has Ohio on it. Okay, black peppercorns. Okay, so they start as green. When they're on the plant, they are green. And this is interesting. I guess I had never really looked at where peppercorns come from, but they grow in these like long shapes. Almost, it kind of looks like grapevines, or like a bunch of grapes, but they're a lot smaller, and they're green. And they grow in clusters. And so these bright green fruits are taken off the vine, or taken off the plant. They're cooked, and then they're dried in the sun. And during this drying process, certain enzymes inside the fruit itself turn the skin that darkish brown color, and then after a while, it gets dried, and the skin kind of shrinks onto the fruit. So that's what makes the black peppercorn. The green peppercorn, same plant, it's just harvested differently, or processed differently. Same species, so instead of, when they take it off the plant, instead of cooking it, they add certain substances that stop the enzymes in the fruit from turning it that dark brown, that black color. And sometimes they are put in a brine, so it's more like it's pickled. And then it almost looks like capers. I've never cooked with them, but I remember them being really popular when I worked at when I worked at another food site where we're always talking about popular things and foods. Excuse me. And green peppercorns were kind of becoming popular, and they do look like capers, although they don't taste like capers, but they're in a brine solution, so they're not as they don't keep as long as the black peppercorns, which black peppercorns can keep forever. Okay, white peppercorns. Those are next. They're also the same. They're in the same family as the black and green, but they are they're soaked. So they're removed and then they're soaked. Or hold on, excuse me. They're allowed to. They stay on the vine or the fruit, the plant, longer, so they become fully ripened, and that makes them turn red. And then they are removed, and then they're soaked, and then that red coating comes off, and it's left with a white seed, and then that is dried, and then that is used in different cuisines such as Thai cuisine and sauces that are white typically because the black peppercorn kind of changes the colors. So, add the black flecks, so you can add the white pepper, and then you don't get those flecks. So, I'm noticing that there is a lot of sun coming in. I'm gonna go change the shades really quick. So, I'm gonna keep talking though. So, the red peppercorns are also just like the green. So, here I'll turn this so we can talk, and I'm gonna make this better. Okay. Sorry, everybody. There we go. It's, every time of year, the time of year it just changes the light. I'm really happy because I don't have to turn the lights on in the kitchen today, though. Okay. Anyway, excuse me. So, red peppercorns are kept on the vine or on the plant till they're fully ripe, and then they are treated to preserve that red color. Instead of removing it, they preserve it, and they are often pickled as well. And then there are pink peppercorns, which, hi Kelly, I know, that's crazy. It's like spring has arrived here in Seattle. It was really nice to see the sun, although I did not anticipate it coming into the windows that much. So the last kind of peppercorn is pink peppercorn, and that is actually a different variety of, it's a different plant than the black and the green and the white and the red. It is found in South America. It's a South American shrub. It's also called Brazilian pepper, and can still be used in cooking, but also has been used for medicinal preparations. So that's something different. And then sometimes you see, I think they have it at Trader Joe's, the peppercorn grinder with like 3 or 4 different colors of peppercorns. That's what we're talking about here. The different varieties. So it gives it a little bit of a different flavor than the black peppercorn. So that's kind of fun. I've tried that before with the grinder, and it does give a little bit of a different flavor. So check it out. Okay, let's talk health benefits. I'm going to do a broad health benefit discussion, and then we'll go into more specifics. So the bioactive compound in pepper is called piperine, Piperine, piperine. I'm going to be talking about piperine a lot. So that is what gives pepper its health benefits. And there's been a lot of research out there about all the good things in pepper. And some research has found that it can help prevent heart disease. It can help prevent cardiovascular disease, atherosclerosis, which is the hardening of the arteries. It can help with neurological conditions. It's considered an antioxidant, anti-asthmatic, anti-carcinogenic, anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, and anti-ulcer. So it combats a lot of things. One of the most important health benefits of pepper, which I'm going to go into more detail in a little bit, but it stimulates the release of stomach acid, which can greatly help with our digestion. And it also assists, so piperine also assists in cognitive brain functioning. It boosts nutrients absorption and improves our gastrointestinal functionality. And it also, we'll talk about this in a little bit, but they've found that it could help improve cholesterol levels, it could improve blood sugar control, and it could improve our brain and gut health in general. So those are the big picture things. That's a lot. And I think that's really cool because I love adding pepper to my food. So if now that I have more information on this, on how much it can improve our health, I'm going to keep adding it. Okay, so piperine is an antioxidant. We know antioxidants combat those free radicals that we find in our environment, we find in our food. It helps fight those, so that's good. The more antioxidants, the better. Nutrient-wise, pepper has vitamin C, vitamin K, vitamin E, vitamin A. It has manganese, which can help with our bone health and wound healing and metabolism. And I found this is interesting. I found out that 1 teaspoon of black pepper, ground black pepper, has 16% of our daily needs of manganese. So that's good for our bone health and our metabolism and our wound healing. That's great. So it also helps our immune system. Do an episode on ADHD. Okay, that is something good to keep in mind. Thank you for the suggestion. Okay, so pepper is also good for our immune system. They have found that the active compounds, most likely piperine, play a role in boosting our white blood cells, which is good for helping combat bacteria and bacterial infections and viral infections. And this is my favorite part. So this is a little bit more in detail about how it helps us absorb nutrients better and our digestion and intestinal health in general. So black pepper can help us absorb other nutrients better, like calcium and selenium. And if you remember back when we talked about turmeric, several episodes back, the bioactive compound in turmeric is called curcumin. And if you have black pepper when you're eating turmeric, you absorb curcumin 2,000 times better if you have black pepper with it. So that's amazing. So probably, if you're having a curry blend, it does have the turmeric in it, might have the black peppercorns in it too. You're good to go with curry. But in general, it does help absorb other nutrients. Other nutrients absorb better in our bodies if we have black pepper. And let's see what else. So yeah, calcium, selenium, what else? And so more nutrients are more available to us if you have black pepper. And what else? One more thing. Oh yeah, and I know we talked about this before, I just want to reiterate it. It stimulates the hydrochloric acid in our stomach, which helps us digest our food better. So basically our digestion is better, our absorption of nutrients is better when we have black pepper. So it's also considered an anti-inflammatory, which we know chronic inflammation is not good for our health, can cause a lot of diseases. So if we can have things that can combat that inflammation, that's good. It may lower cholesterol levels. There was an animal study done for 42 days where they gave them a black pepper extract, and they found that the blood cholesterol levels, the total cholesterol and the LDL, which is the bad cholesterol, were decreased. Something to consider. It may help our brain as well. Piperine has been shown to improve the function of our brains, and it may help some of the symptoms of Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. And it may help with blood sugar control. There have been some studies done out there where they have found that it does help with the way we metabolize sugar in our bodies. So there was a study done of 86 overweight people, and they took a supplement containing the piperine and other compounds as well. They did this for 8 weeks, and they had significantly improved insulin sensitivity, which means our body's processing the sugar in our blood better because of the insulin. So that was pretty awesome. So lots of great, great, great health benefits from black pepper, the piperine in the black pepper. A couple of drawbacks. Some people find that they sneeze a lot when they have black pepper, so that could just be an uncomfortable side effect of consuming black pepper. And also black pepper may interact with medications, so definitely, I'm talking more about just adding pepper to our food, but if you're looking into taking it as a supplement or the piperine as a supplement, definitely talk to your doctor because it could have an effect on other medications. So, like all things I discuss, always talk to your doctor about taking something new. Should we make some coconut rice? I'm really excited about this. I've had these ingredients waiting for me this afternoon, and I just can't wait to cook them. So, let's get going. So again, this recipe is called Eat for $8 Coconut Vegetable Rice Pilaf with Peppercorns. And you know how I always change things in recipes? I don't think I changed anything this week. It's so exciting. Okay, so I preheated the oven to 375. I already started that so it could be ready to go. We've got a Dutch oven for our cooking vessel. I'm going to take a drink of water. Okay, and we're going to turn the stovetop on high, right? Yes, over high heat, warm the oil. So that is one thing I'm changing. It says to do oil that doesn't have much flavor like canola oil, but I'm doing olive oil just because I like the taste of olive oil. But you can always use whatever oil you want. Okay, so we're putting oil in the bottom of this Dutch oven. So you want to use, if you don't have a Dutch oven, we are going to be cooking on the stovetop and then we're going to be putting the pan into the oven. So just use something that can go in the oven with a lid. Dutch oven is kind of the best way to go. Okay, so we heated some oil over high heat. After about 1 minute, we're going to put the black peppercorns in. I cut the recipe in half because it serves 4. So let's see. This is a half teaspoon of whole black peppercorns. There we are. All right. We've got the oil, and then it says to put the lid on it because these peppercorns apparently are going to start popping. So we're cooking that. I'm just going to, while we're waiting for those to cook, I'm going to show you some of the other ingredients. So we've got onion. We've got zucchini cut into little half moons. Let's see, there we go, you can see it better. We've got carrot cut into half moons. We've got a serrano pepper. Oh, that's right, I still need to cut that up. And it calls for sliced almonds, but I had whole almonds. I sliced them myself. There we go. And then we have the rice, we have cilantro, and we have a little bit of sugar, and we have coconut milk, and we have water. Very exciting. Okay, let's get, oh, my spoon is right here. I'm going to use my handy little oven mitt from my parents. All right. We just want to toast these black peppercorns. Okay. I can hear them starting to sizzle, which is good. We want them to sizzle. Okay. So while we're waiting, I'm going to cut the serrano pepper. Okay. So you never know how hot a pepper is going to be. So if you don't want it super spicy, you can use less. I think it calls for 1 whole serrano. I'll probably use half. Oh, I can already smell the pepper. Oh no, it calls for half of a serrano. So I will probably use a 1/4. We can always add more later. Okay. And you just never know. And then I'm cutting it and taking the seeds out because that's what makes it extra spicy. Okay, I can hear those peppercorns. They are popping and sizzling. Okay. I'm going to remember that I used that and I'm not going to touch my eyes. I'm going to wipe my fingers. Okay. So, now, oh yeah. These are looking good. They're sizzling. Oopsies. Okay, next oh yeah. They're popping. Okay, now we're going to add the onion. We're going to turn the heat down. Add the onion. And let's see if we add anything else. Lower the heat. Add onion. Cook for 2 minutes. Okay. I love the smell of cooking onions. Our house very often smells like cooking onions. Okay, add a little bit more oil so that it doesn't stick. Smells good already. Okay, here we go. Okay, we've got our onions. Oh yeah, and then I remember salt too is right here. Okay, what goes after onions? Cook for 2 minutes, then add carrots, zucchini, and the serrano. Okay. Since we're a little short on time, we only have about 4 minutes left. I'm just going to cook the onions like this. I'm going to add the veggies in now. So we've got zucchini, we've got carrots, and we've got the serrano pepper. It's looking good. Looking good. I'd like to share this with you just so you can see how good it looks. Okay. I like this idea of the peppercorns in here. I don't know if I've ever really made rice with peppercorns in it. Okay, so we're going to cook until the vegetables are tender. Okay, we can do that. We can do that. So let's go over the health benefits of peppercorns because there are just so many. So the big one is it helps us absorb other nutrients better, and it helps us digest food better because it stimulates the hydrochloric acid in your stomach. It may help with cholesterol levels. It may help with blood sugar levels. It has antioxidants. Lots of good stuff. Lots and lots of good stuff. Okay. There are 5 different kinds that we discussed. Black, green, white, red, and pink. They differ just from when they're harvested and if things have been added to change the color. Okay. All right, this is looking good. Okay, next we add the almonds. So it says to add, I think we're adding about half the almonds because we're going to add more after it's cooked. Okay. And then we just let that cook, let them warm up a little bit. I need one of those cameras above my stove so I can show you what's going on. Hold on. Here we go. All right, next we add salt. Got my salt grinder, the Himalayan salt. You know, we talked last week about all the good things that all the different salts. Himalayan salt has all the minerals, 84 minerals that we need in our bodies. Find it in Himalayan salt. Okay, now we're adding the rice. Here we go, basmati rice. And stir that around. We're just going to let that toast. Oh yeah, and then we add coconut milk and water. So I cut the recipe in half, so it's about half of a can of coconut milk and about a cup of water, 3/4 to a cup of water. I love coconut milk in rice. It's so good. All right, so we're just going to make sure all the rice and veggies are stirred or pushed away from the edges of the pan or the Dutch oven. Okay, I think that's it. Rice, pour the coconut milk. Oh, add a little bit more salt. Okay, give it a stir. All right, we'll put the cover on and we're going to put it in the oven, and then it bakes for 25 minutes. So it's such an interesting way to cook rice. I don't usually cook it in the oven. Okay, there we go. 25 minutes. Let's set the timer. I'm going to actually do 20 minutes and check on it then. Since I cut the recipe in half, it might not take quite as long. So, anyway, thank you all so much for joining today. We talked black peppercorns, all the different kinds. Check out my Instagram. I will post a picture of the final product of this rice, the coconut vegetable rice pilaf with peppercorns. Check it out on relish.com. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.